all of this culminating together towards negotiations that we are expecting on the war front when we speak of both Russia and Ukraine? What would you say in the terms of negotiation that we're looking at between both these nations? Because Ukraine's demand is very clear that we want membership in the NATO, and we also want all of our occupied territory that is currently with Russia to be restored back with us. But then, in fact, the US, particular US officers have also come out to say that, it is not particularly what has been asked is quite illusionary at this point, and it is not quite possible probably for Russia to give in to Ukraine's demand. What would you have to say?
Absolutely. I think there is a lot of pressure on this one, but let me start with the end goal in mind. I think there is going to be a deal. So for Prime Minister Modi to say that he sides on the side of peace, I think it's the perfect statement because there is going to be peace. Whatever happens between Russia, who gives, who takes, end of the day, after all the puts and takes are resolved, there is going to be peace. And that was the most astute answer there to give because also of the reason that President Trump is a peace establisher. So he is going to establish peace. So that also signals to President Trump that we are with you, right? So having said that, let's dial back a little bit. In terms of giving Ukraine a NATO membership, that is, I think, a new thing, right? That has started in the last 10 to 12 years, where this hysteria was first generated that Russia was going to take over Ukraine. And then, they took over some pieces of it, but then that fuel was constantly put on that fire. And then now Ukraine is asking for NATO membership. I personally believe that that's not going to happen. So that is the biggest sticking point when it comes to negotiations with Russia. So what will happen in my perspective or in my limited view is that NATO is not going to get Ukraine is not going to get a NATO membership. Russia will probably give up all the land except Crimea that they acquired. So that's going to go back to normal. And then I think there will be a very firm understanding that if NATO does not expand, Russia does not expand, right? Because this is all going back to either Ukraine's original intention or their intention that was propped up by some of the elements in the US that they should ask for membership. So I think that's where the line is going to be drawn. Again, to reiterate, Russia will probably go back, maybe keep Crimea, maybe give up Crimea, and then NATO is not getting a new member in Ukraine.